Hayi window kulonyaka. Hayi mali yayikela kusiya. Kodwa nasithola naye.
No, window.
Wedger, bawapha wedger. Siyanye uba mnanzi wedger ikela kusiya.
Uthothi manje wedger. Wedger before the Bible Monday.
Ishilo wedger ya wayese bloom okay maqale nje.
Molweni sibuyile with another episode number 8 of the Conversation Starter. And in studio with me, very original co-host, Fana Baba. Sakwanda mna. Kuthiwa
ukanele kusemanzini, kumnandi kabi.
Kuthiwa ubundikhumbula kule veki. Ibuye nini bra?
Baba noko ndiyabona ukuthi kahle kabi.
I'm gonna speak about it. I had a very nice time. But yo, nizomazi kanjalo on TikTok and Instagram. That's how he starts his videos. Very X-Men the reactor when X
Would you?
because we listen to
Yo. Guys, we can't lona abaninzi bandiza ngo-X. Like he just mentioned, you know, yeah, I've got a channel. I also react to rugby. Guys, I'm a fan. I just want to put that out there. I'm a rugby fan. I'm not a pundit. I'm not an analyst. I'm also a student of Rasi Rasmas, and I believe I'm Rasi Majita. So yes, it's not like that. It's about too biased. I'm very open-minded about Mjita and Ndozake, but that is redefining rugby's jogi, is PD. But yeah, that's me, man. Kanti Gama, Bandits on Visa X, Channel X reacting to rugby, and it's clear I'm
Yeah, no, welcome to the X. Nati, we are huge fans. Well, I am, because there's stronger ways to constantly. And yeah, no. Yeah,
Oh, X in Baja, I saw him to Bugele game Springboks, ne Wallabies, Cape Town. So that's the way reactions, and I spoke to him. And immediately, as why I respond, I was like, shit, I need to have his number. In Funagli episode, in Funagli show, and no bra was just willing, but yo, bra.
No, man, what's the parades?
That's the parades. The second test, yeah.
Le Wallabies.
Le Wallabies in Cape Town.
I remember like nani betches a video for Nanzik.
For routine, yeah.
Okay.
I actually told them to group in. They said, I was with your host.
Yeah, but man, guys, must get straight cool. State of your rugby championship has come to an end. Season change back to back, but what an interesting one. So your overall, your overall reaction to the tournament.
No, as I said prior to the episode, for me it was one of the most competitive I've seen. Now dating back to Tri-Nations, but obviously we can't make a fair comparison because Argentina's up. But the championship, man, you sort of could see way before the last game, but even with the All Blacks or Mzantsi. But now it went down to the wire. Is all if beskiwe. All Blacks you understand? So for me, it was a very good tournament, and it came at a time where there's a lot of conversation around which one is actually better, Six Nations or
championship, yeah.
So for me, I'd say now they both looking very good. They're very good competitions, both of them, and one is a healthy competition. If you look with Six Nations, a lot of the teams is awujiwa kulonyaka, then you win kunyaka zayo. So ayikho lando ba constantly because abakhumjito winayo. And we're starting to see a bit of that in Rugby Championship. Back to back for the first time in history. We've never done that before. So I'd say now it's probably the best I've seen from the championship, together with the Tri-Nations prior to by reinstated. TRC or Argentina. But yeah, I enjoyed it personally, and that's like I kind of knew, but this is how it's going to play out. When the big box sizawenza umsebenzi.
Besinazo favors.
Especially-
Besinazo favors. I think Argentina beating New Zealand was a huge favor.
Yeah, but that's part and parcel of the competition. That's why it's tough. Funekile all players here.
X-Men, ka perform.
And I think just to jump on the topic kanye neniku masingothuki manxa Argentina siyo.
Masingothuki.
As a result masingothuki na xa iphithi KP. For example izolo babesikiwe, yes it's a big one, but masingenzi ngathi Argentina is ayisibeti. Now leading to the question oyibuzayo about the competition itself, I think thina umandi uthethe izinto manxa uwina.
Okay.
We need Australia to be good again. You know, we need this for the rugby. Until ibe good Argentina icinezele ekoneni. Iphefule ngobayo. Ufuna ubuya umvujonge iSpringbok bene I'm not happy about the win. No. Argentina is good. To be honest with you, I was more terrified by Argentina than in New Zealand. Now, so Eden Park, though I think we were weird there. We decided to take yonke pressure Eden Park Eden Park yes South Africa. I don't think we should have been that nervous. In New Zealand, if I may be nervous, so I think if basically approach the game, just like we did this all, probably would have beaten New Zealand men twice. But we can't change anything. I'm not gonna ask the New Zealand fans is busy comments. What I'm trying to get to, but guys. Argentina is present. Argentina beat British and Irish, beat Dadibeta. Isiza Glendo. And I think izolo. Izolo tournament. So for the tournament itself, I think it's a good thing in a sense. But na mehlo ngoku this podcast as a North or as Chepus as a Wales, they're all talking about the rugby championship. I think it's a tournament. I think Lendo ye Twickenham. Yendo zomane siyibona qho. It may not be one game, it may end up being two games in Mhlambi at Twickenham for that commercial sort of approach, because it's a business younger than the Kopelin. So I think for Imali being and then bigger this tournament grows, although he talks in the next one is 2029, because Tourisha next year in Australia Tourisha nazo, as long as countries tours zazo, which is another conversation. But this tournament, I think
I understand Lando. Leyo Tourisha.
Kaloku lana yoTourisha wena New Zealand abazumthanda. New Zealand iyasikhumbula but.
Yeah.
Iyasoko. It's not by mistake that le toys okwenzeka a year before the World Cup. They need ukubetheka ku Peter Steph a season before baye ku World Cup. Bazayenza iSuper Rugby yabo, but they need ukubetheka. Anchomosi tour, they're going to play URC, as long as the URC, they're going to play Stormers, Sharks, Lions.
No.
Those are reps.
Yeah.
And unika banes
and also, given that they will play as team, surely as a team now, so if you're not part of the Springboks, then you surely want to
release.
You understand? So nabanye abantu abazabe bedlala All Blacks bana bafuna ukwenza statement. You understand? But no man, actually ndiyakwazi I belong to the level.
No, if we mameli Argentina even ayithoni yona engathi ithi abakho happy you guys are leaving us in the dark, because at the end of the day this is we are preparing for the biggest tournament, which is the World Cup. Zikhona ezinye tournament like the one isithetha ngayo. This was a brilliant one, back to back. Basiyenze njani so thetha ngayo just now, but we are back to back for the first time. I think we must celebrate that.
No, that's solid.
In a tournament where it was decided in the last round. In New Zealand, in South Africa, the only two teams that got 2 wins. Abanye being 1-1-1-1. So great tournament to sum it up.
Gentlemen, Daniv and I know Paula. It was a very good tournament. I think one of the best.
Ugomonye kodwa yena 6 Nations is better.
Bakhona bachoyo ayingeyethu. Bakhona bachoyo.
I understand why I say that.
I think for him, the last time 6 Nations it's going down to the wire. It's exciting. Like last season, Hugh Jones, another Hugh Jones, who found the nervous a try against England to Twickenham. That tournament
2 seasons ago.
2 seasons ago, Scotland were fighting. England was just cruising. Ireland and France. So funeka uphinde ukhangele ubana yabona msekele lena i-season championship if we compare naleyana, because as funny seasons as been alluded to it,
both up there neck and neck. But I think people are speaking from a point of view whereby they say in 6 Nations you get different winners of the competition constantly. Pakuti ibikade dominated say All Blacks, you understand? But now usikalisa ubona uchinjo. But we can't now say that just because siya back to back. Kuyanyanzeleka ba siphinde sibafake phansi koxinzelelo, siphinde sithathe nelandelayo. Sibabonise ba jongani manje le nto lena irugby yachinja. And none you guys need to roll with the punches okanye you're going to suffer as a loss as far as sezekonyana.
Manje they fight Six Nations and I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Okay.
To go back kulento kuyithetha ngakaka ingxaki ku-forum ngaki kwi-Six Nations ne kuzokho i-Italy ezobetha mhlawumbi i-England kule fixture ugqiba kubekho i-World Cup i-Italy ibekho i-group ne-South Africa kubekho izimanga ezithetha uba no the Springboks might not make it, Italy is good because sigqithe kuleyo uDuhan van der Merwe uzoganga ibhola and uDuhan does it every year. uDuhan uzoqhaqha i-England nge-try 1 and then all of a sudden he's in a conversation of the best wing in the world. Akho best wing in the world nguDuhan. uDuhan ebezazi bangabenazo uDuhan ebengazo uDuhan brother uDuhan akarupha kwi-boots.
Ubinayo la entitlement kodwa.
Ile entitlement because egqibeleni you can say that ukuba i-Six Nations yes there's different winners. But because the reason being got different winners we try nations back then and now Rugby Championship is the same team that was stealing the World Cups in New Zealand. I mean, if you New Zealand did Six Nations, we would have been saying the same thing about Six Nations, but it's the same team that's in the because it was the world team that's beating the whole world. So what did you expect? Now things are starting to evolve. Yeah, for example, Tata the performance in England, Argentina, which is now we'll say Argentina is the lowest. Rugby Championship and they showed they're number 4.
Number 4.
No,
but they're so good. They're so good and they lost.
But EZP standings stand. Argentina is better England, but England number 4, but England is a winner. Is Scotland. Last World Cup after Scotland is as better as
How was that even a conversation?
Pool of death against Scotland. Yeah, so the Six Nations, yes, there's different perspectives. South Africa, I'm gonna back, like I said, I'm biased. I'm gonna back the South, alright? But now I understand their conversation, but let's not be oblivious to the reasons behind the Rugby Championship being dominated by one team. It's the same team that was dominating the whole world.
There's so much you say on social media. For an example, that game, All Blacks were 40. Ubuye wathi wena that's not a good performance or that's not but you mentioned something about bana masinga be carried away.
Yeah.
Bana asiphelelanga phayana and then what you say inconsistent and we pointed out the inconsistencies within the performances of the box. So it got me thinking, what are the chances of like inconsistency is caused at a bigger stage?
You see, in the inconsistency, let's go back to your All Blacks. All Blacks, there's an era that 2011 to 2015. Yeah, Kuki wins, but that's tetanga era, tetanga wins. But our bonus is bigger as long as I wins. But City, I got I win. But it's nice to find this news in the winner because that John we era because John and wins. So your consistency for me, and even like the Sacha,
we lose way too many games whereby we're not supposed to lose the same.
Yeah. Like performance will not be the same every week. Some games will be great, you're gonna run away with them. I mean, guys, let's not sit I think we're a little bit too when you ungafunu papa.
God has scored 100 points in 2 games.
Yes. You understand? But now for Tina as the fans, because I even said in the video fixture and the City, regardless of this being a big challenge from Sacha, who's now gonna expect to have the same.
Yeah.
We have to talk about it. But even us as the fans, we need to learn a new dynamic now of being able to deal with that, of being able to understand. But hey, sometimes it's not gonna go off. But then Tina's Umjita plays one good game and you want to compare him to Oden Carter. Not to say that was, and what I liked with that comparison, they were comparing him to a singular game, which I was like, okay, maybe when you when you watch that game and you watch the performances of Boni similarities, but Masinga let's not get, it's only something, you know, let's look. Xa sithetha ngo-Dan Carter, looking at a career, we're looking at ayenzileyo in the big picture. Asizuthi, but one knocker, man, one knocker, but instead, because there are mistakes in the game, there will be games that are going to be on and off. But it's at the end of the career when you look, and then you can say, yo, Kumalan, that first fixture against Argentina, he did this and this, and there was going to be highlights of their career. So I think, Tina, as the fans as well, we need to start learning that we are dominant, we are trendsetters, people are learning. It was always the All Blacks who are setting the tone of Budlalwanjani.
I think it's so too,
it's so too.
Later, Tani Box is the All Blacks who said, try upset in Jan.
Go upset ball, no, but yeah, no, go upset ball.
That's
why also it hurts because
that's
All Black fans are in the city. F. Robertson 20 minutes into the game. So 20 it's only 20 minutes in. Fans says it's part of the game. That's where they are right now. I accept it. Every
time the camera went to his coach's box, he was standing. Imagine
that's funny. That job just as serious if the job you buy head coach as Springboks so head coach in New Zealand. Usen magini nyani.
Culture yabantu.
Yeah, kujongwe kuwo mfethu. So I understand why when he's not composed to club box because he knows bana has known go every game is a must win. Funeka lamjidame ngoba utholishe nasike eEurope. Ayowina pha udlala no
Ireland khona kodwa.
Ikhona Ireland, ikhona England.
Ngathi ngibawulela France ngitshela kamanje yena. Ngitshela kamanje bandla. Qala bese France must be sesandudlala nayo.
Sesandudlala nayo
serious but ngiyacapela lenzo iFrance. But it's fine. Basifimbe rugby.
Abasifimbe rugby bona bakhulisa irugby yabo because bafuna la depth.
Akho kwa rugby khulayo la wayenzayo swa. iFrance ayizobona World Cup lana. Bakhulisa rugby njani? Fed itima se-Europe ngoku ifuna uwina World Cup le phambili. Yawa? And la World Cup lana iza kwala la Australia yayika uqilinyana and iyahost afethu.
Someone less kiss yakwazi uzenza zika Joe. Joe uzobe coach All Blacks 2031. Clip it. Clip it.
Ngidinga lonto nami. uJoe abaya khona ngathi coach All Blacks and ngingake All Blacks once is coach ngamshila kuza ngiyiwa
I think All Blacks la nto banayi players ezidlala overseas speak izodlala imabetha. It's always going to be a factor.
Yeah, but also remember
Super Rugby for Nigeria,
it's not going to be good for Super Rugby. Imagine and now you want to allow players to leave. It's never going to work. Rugby yabo izawusekayo na imani hamba. Abazibana rugby pa.
But abazami guys sabbatical. Abazami system because even no rasi unai undertone choy ba you first need to be in our system. For example, if you chocolate money is a metric ngoku Josh Neal. Josh Neal is signed with Leinster. We are Puma straight on from metric for example, because ipath elolo hlobo is a little bit if I would have something to say if Lenoni no bizo ingakhange kitachi no under 20 ingakhange contribute na Varsity Shield, Varsity Cup, you know.
Kwakuthiwa next big thing wahamba udlala ngapha bayidlala nokuphelele kanye wedlala fana mesla nwana inkulu man
JJ waya le team ingumntu pink
Stade France les anomono stay.
Yeah,
but wayiqale phi uJJ fan wayidlala kwishaft lelo nitsho ba at least ikhona iDNA yakhe siyothuka xa sifuna uborn fan kubona uborn waxelela ba no wayikwicheaters but the thing is
at the time and mazi ngoku angikamukeli nangu but he was very solid.
Even though Jean King wathi Gqubuthiwa why he played for he was at the 2019 World Cup with Ireland, now he's with the Springboks
and man
but mlandele bawusuka. So what I'm saying is that I think All Blacks now also are trying this system yoba hlala enough ufumana icaps ezinga 14 sikuniki igunya loba khawuhambe uyothatha iIP or whatever somewhere because Rico needs a boot camp. We have a boot camp with Leicester. His rugby is falling apart. He needs a different environment. He needs to take a.
I did mention
the way internet. I think he has influenced rugby players. I think when we said I'm not wrong. Okay, I better internet. Generally, players I think kukho le no man brava ikho le line ethanda uthetha uDrake ba ibholas yabo
uDrake
yeah as James dlala ibhola you understand Ziatan, they're so synonymous with Lamajite rap because a style. They focus way too much on that fashion and fit. Then those of photo creative. Then Ulibal was the main thing. You understand?
And the main thing should always stay the main thing.
Superstars off the field more than Landoba ube superstar udlale rugby. I think uRico mabuye lemfield basics. Ajonge rugby yakhe because undoubtedly he's one of the best and what he does. Yeah, but so
what he does or what he did.
Well, fuck. What he used to do.
Yeah, okay.
But he's still doing it plus Pagu Plus.
Yeah,
international level.
I say uyanga lo wabo compare to lo. Into ayenzayo ngoku senza theatrics zehaka bona kuba amalwini ezawuyibona ngathi uzakwenza serious. Ufana no J Kill. uJ Kill akayiboma upho hambela uyi. Ngene machine. Uthi inqawa yakho nje.
Bali
uGrill.
uJesse Jesse makayo stage ni khona immense physique makayo computer manje beya FBB bro.
Inkulu ndoda kodwa ne.
Umboniso?
Akanimbola kwayime nawe mfundini.
Ubonizolo be TV ni kombo. Yena basese screen sikhulu ngibele kuso. Yo, I qhumi creating nendon ba in a muscle that.
Aye, solid.
In a muscle.
How do you feel about Rasko mentioning about there's still Lucanio Bon was gonna come back. That's what he said. So I don't know about I mentioned or he didn't mention but there's still Lucanio who has to come back because we mentioned Amos but I
saw that interview.
What no, there's still Lucanio.
But Uras, remember
to come back.
Uras is the type of coach that if you've done it for me, you can do it again. So he plays he has trained players again. He has back.
Yeah,
I think also Uras when I look at Uras with his errors, I'm saying Uras udale pa. Since Uras dale yenza lento. What he head coach, what he director, fakunini papino abuyi. I think there's also an overlap in the rugby philosophies or the coaching philosophies that he used in the past. I think coming back with 2018, that era, Manala 57, we had to do this. When we were coming back, I think he leaned a lot into the emotions in terms of how he interacts with them.
That's how he got his buy-in.
That's how he got his buy-in, right? And even if you're born,
we'll see
a captain as opposed to say, yeah.
So now, unomamela unayo lo tone bese ndobuzwa ngokuba ekuse uSiya is on 98 caps 100 he's battling because I think he's at a point now where he feels like he's running a stable. He wants le crew yake coaches to do the work and he's just the master at the back. But I think there's some players where he's still linked to emotionally, especially that 2018 era. Because if you look at what Lucanio had to do for him and Lucanio ungena pa, I'm not going to say as a backup because he was good enough, but who injured World Cup, I think it was like a quarterfinal, that was against Japan, got on a hamstring, which was another suspect thing there. I was like, the hamstring is but what Uche, and he owned it. Similar to what Kenan is trying to do now. And then you give your version of it and you just do it perfectly, and then you stay there.
But also remember, prior to that,
yeah, no, 100%.
Why never wing funding?
No. Wayesifumene trust kurasi ngakarasi urasi kaloku ufuneka qala kuthemba uyakhumbula uthetha ngamaphimbi ba phapha nje ungayibhiki because wayengayithembi zange disclose injury yayinayo
or rather yeah you could not understand, it was a language barrier wanted to stick back.
Yeah so ndithi bese ifumene lanto ba no, I trust this guy, I can work with him, you understand. I think urasi he has to trust you. Because there's no reason why unohamba as a Springbok.
Hey, all conversations. Okay, but to close off that that's where he's at, in a sense that even Obongi, it's very tough for him to just let go. Recently, I know Bara before we started shooting, the city, I wish for the day Uvili gets a cap for the box, has a good game. I think the last game it's still in but hey, one more so his last appearance for the box. So he some sort of ceremonious not that it's going to happen in front of us, but back end, there are iconic conversations that need to be had.
Sine Japan, sine Wales end of year tour, so ngamdla as
So policy i-100 cap yakho ifumana overseas madoda.
Uyayifumana against France.
Yeah. Which leads me to my next question.
Okay, bawelo abakwazi uplana mano rasi man.
Abakafuna za dark lights. Aboni production in France.
Yeah, theatrics.
Hey, was a green. They have to put to green 14 and then bafakela blue abo ke xa in front. Ayizobandla. Not at home, but I think izobandla.
But I think usi angayithanda ekhaya. Wena la build up yeviki amagwijo ayithanda manje abezokhala 100 cap. Yeah, he would have loved it.
But also, this is the same group of people Klavik are going to talk about, but no, T9 milestones. What we are focused on is the game in hand.
The game in hand.
Yeah, so
but you will impress one day. Say deep down.
Speak your mind, man. But anyway.
Gents, we end of your tour. Who does he add on his squad? Because remember, they're streaming the squad.
How many in the squad?
When no Fassi got injured.
He's up in the boy like 40, I'm sure.
14 though.
I'm sure maybe 40. You will take
40 or 42.
I think it's more.
You'll take about 42.
But he's got 4 games, so because net Japan, so he might add more. So who do you add? What's the squad?
Also take into consideration that must see URC says so even as player, maybe he doesn't need to take all of them. If he can sing, if he's structured, okay. The Lions will be on tour, so Fenta, for example, will be nearby. So maybe
nearby.
I don't need to bring him in.
But keep in mind, end of your tour, pause or URC. Pause or
Mzantsi. Okay, so it is Edwaba. Edu van der Merwe again.
Okay.
Edu van der Merwe. I so wish Vincent Chituka goes back and Peter Steph with that attack. I'm going to rest. And better commanding or we are better go on this was
better any break. Abe yamba is bongo. Come on, bonus or
yo.
I'm gonna take Shalom cities. I even hit. You're going to correct Alumbo man in the shifting and so past 3 games actually.
Now I would love to see Vincent back in the mix.
Vincent solid Vincent, and then Japan I
got Japan I find France. Japan anazi close ezithi bana awudlaleli country impilanga singabalekanga ukuba nomfaka nansi one forward Edu van der Merwe siyamfaka uVincent Chituka ngiba no
Oleru Ombizi back. Why
this is the best opportunities to bring back Lanwana Beyithembile Queen Horn. Bring up Queen Horn.
Oh, he's having a solid performance in the league.
Henko van Veek clearly injury.
Henko van Veek is not
but for the
Weapon X.
Solid.
Guys, usimelani yambona wenza njani ngoku? Yambona usimelani wenzani pha kudobo?
Usimelani ngakhaya kumane senza lanto ayenzayo.
Iwari yami uyenza lana kwisitulo esingekho sesakhe. Ayisositulo sakhe.
Kaloku ukhela
ile nditsho le basositulo sakhe izofika indoda.
Guys,
but usimelani it's always been solid. But zama ukuthi namakamane senza lanto ayenzayo. Ngoku sisajonge ohenko ngoku. Amadoda ahead lamadoda kunayo kubheka order inoba umhlaba ngaselect.
And Ethan Hooker kayifumana run percent still been.
Ethan Hooker I'd love to see Ethan got 13
because bafuna ku send Ethan.
But uzodlala phi because even naku Sharks khona uJulienzo. Udlalile this on Friday.
UJulienzo kutheni sina angakhaza.
Injury apparently because he didn't even feature ku Car Cup.
Akana ukancindisa umntana yena.
No, he said Colin Africa Ujorenzo is too loose with his arms like English. Like
and get defensively we have to have 18 or ongasokwazi
ukwenza. Umudi I read defensive phambili.
Khumula umudi ungena kwakhe
kakhulu leyo.
Okay, clip yayitrenda. Like clip yayitrenda ingumudi no Rasibote balele teklisiswa over and over and over. I think it was after he hurt his hand or something umudi ngoba isaqala ba box.
La nto ayenze ku stays oyibethe uFerreira.
So Lanwana he needs to develop that element I think uJorenzo especially for outside center and I'm liking that ngathi line yanda ka 13
Yeah.
ibike ngathi ngukrill or nothing kange yanda ngokulalaya usekhona endwana zingokrill ningazi bangudende banguRichard zombini nje zamdlala u13 le ikwibulls nekwenye
Lions
andiyazi
udende Richard
uRichard le ikwibulls hayi le
Bulls. Udeni
Lions and
Okay.
oh no it's the other way around it's the other way around and
yabona lena uDen man yabawela mina manje khifumana ithuba man
P kwephi position
Pablo 13 because 2 seasons in a row he's been performing very well so inoba indoni
lokhu ibulls lo
yeah lokhu ibulls
hey be bad kicking yakhe kodwa uzol but ke 13 akakhazi
kicking for poles
andazi ke lana
dlala ukicking ngalokho
uJohannes
la light besithetha ngayo izolo
kicking Johannes
de Klerk
Sebastian
Sebastian de Klerk
ngathi nyinona ibike yabizo kwi-alignment camp
yeah but
hey guys kugcwele emaphikweni I was having this conversation eKapa ngokuthi Thomas
kaqhibi manje ongaphindi bayaphuma
uzophuma uphinde uzamnika 100
hayi 50
hayi
50 bamnika 50 then aphume ecaleni
no leqe 50 lezi injalo zakhe
but ndimjonge majita
guys uLenanzas kwi-packing order ukuthi but wasn't he the best backline player with Thomas last season ingene Geland
I'm just being realistic ndiyamngcina ngiyadlala he's a very good finisher
ebefights beyiKapa for ndibona hey
do your basics yabo but
even more than basics
ukuthi packing order bro
ekile nokila for
high ball good physical strength
basic call
well yeah
but the issue is
good finisher but other than that like ukoma chita izinto special bro uColban mazi ngathi ufu apply ukick
bendibukele kwi-first comment kuthiwa akakwazi uColban ungavusi ayipheli bethe engavusanga
no qhube kho sengilo
yeah no jonga uColban bra ngamanye amajita I feel that makanikwe makafumana abayani makafumana amathuba uColban plays a lot of rugby
yeah he does
I think
but also guys Kobe I didn't mention this I doesn't know why it was on air or off air can I make a dream team eJapan kula league yabo so kuthi ukuthi ebengaso star kwa phakula league
but kaloku mase I think yabona kuRasi is a statistician mhlambe wasibekela kweziveki izayo uyayithanda mosihlana sikabeke nje i-minutes played
by is involved in it
yeah because ngoba kubuzwa ngoPollard kuthiwa hey man uPollard 2 weeks in a row on peak 18 land wathi no man uPollard no Sacha no Mani they are like off by a few minutes in terms of the time they've played
last 6 minutes
yezanto zinje so uColby man beke ona injury I think naphe Japan kangafika adlala the same time he was off for a while wabuya so khona la game I think he scored but he's also been I think yes Kobe is Kobe when you say chasing Kobe it feels like you've heard that name so many times and in your head you think Dale but I think obviously upper quick box he's been one of the guys that are sort of consistent but I think he's also banking on the fact that in the year Anchomosumo World Rugby uti nonke 30 games yeah so no and I'm sure Rasu yazi 3 months ago londole because ehlobe bemuva ngayo umuva as umuntu ngathi ujonge ba Pollard now Mandwana you just got bought by the Bulls it will be very selfish of me ufike and you can only play 2 games because ngokuhleli ku 28 games for the year because I don't know how many games he played when he was at Leicester
my players
players so Ilanduba even there I'm sure there is some sort of control over his game time but he will probably be one of the guys who are going to get a few rests because play Japan and like Wales
so now amachita looking at the locks I feel that Eben needs also rest he plays a lot of rugby that guy Mzantsi we game as far as France Ireland still got other tastes but obviously uyaya kuto sure but ngoba namachita umhlambi unokhes out ukhona for 14 lo yakhe I've seen a lot of him this year
buddy
Franco
Mostert
yeah ibona uFranco
a lot of him ngathi direct
iyanda le list ngubongi kuKoch kuMostert
ukudala kudala nembuzo uKoch week in week out ndiyambuza
uKoch mina ndimcime kwa kwi-Sharks ngibone kwa kwi-Sharks bakho scrum silinde wena Koch fondini buku box wabuya iscrum sabuya umva still
uyakhumula nisitsho ku
hayi Koch akasekho guys
usithi kutheni ngapika utheni upika uThomas
Koch
Thomas suspect kwa Thomas
apparently Thomas yabuya madoda
I saw that this morning
Sharks
end of the season ufungela kwi family
uthe ufuna ukhulisa family
Sharks
Yeah,
Thomas Duto yeah buela ku
Bela Sharks.
Yeah.
Thomas family said that.
Speaking of into lento ingadibaniyo kula team is the coach akakwazi la players zakhe kanye players asifuna udlalela coach. Iphi ingxaki za Sharks?
I'm leaning there, my brother. I'm leaning to Plumtree because it's 2 seasons.
Now, John, bro, I think calling him back was not such a great decision. We know what he did 2007 with the Sharks, Yabona. Had a very solid season, Yabona, and why in the back, Bayan? Why in the back, which it because he had Beast, he had John Smith,
that Duplessis,
Bismarck, kukhona why Ackerman wayekhona kulo season ngathi uyan Ackerman
Muscle Kutsia was there as well.
Sykes or Jacques Potter
Kenkowski were there.
Ryan Kenkowski, Ron Pinar, Frank Stein, JP Peterson,
Pat Lambie.
Pat Lambie
arrived later.
So uJupe wayesekhona
I think it was
fullback.
I think it was Chowat. Why you can't go carry copy?
uJupe man letwana lifiti gqidi ngoku.
Teddy Blanche. Who's
Teddy
that?
Blanche.
Why you call Teddy Blanche?
Teddy Blanche wayesekhona so ngizama ukuthi yabona phayana wayene players phayana edlala iSuper Rugby. Now it's different.
Une players nangoku nje.
Yes, but those guys
Une Springboks.
that's remember, those guys will not manage the same way they do now. There's way more rugby to play now. You wouldn't like
Mark. Ngicela uzayiqhubeka uyithethe ngasuke ku-include ba inoba kwenzeka ntoni between uPlumtree noPowell. Anti uPowell
director.
And wafika uPowell baphuka i-coaches aphuma za ema-Edinburgh ifika nje wayenza imvo
I
ba
think
kwenzeka ntoni
now uPowell ne he has a senior role on paper noPlumtree, but in actual fact uPlumtree he knows the Sharks better than uPowell would. He's trusted more at the Sharks than uPowell. So it's time uPowell call the shots clean. You understand? And if he is calling the shots, then he's not doing a great job. Because if you look at his signings the Sharks, it's in of box. Those guys can't really compete with the guys who are actually Springboks.
Casby is a signing.
If we look at a guy like Mzantsi, solid signing.
And a lot of people have been calling for Mzantsi to be called to the box.
For me personally,
okay,
solid signing because he's one of the guys who you'd say ungene junior structures at Bulls, until senior level. I mean the highest level you can play. And he's done that for a number of years. You understand? So signing a guy like that is solid. But in fact, uthatha umzekelo umjita ebeki Pumas ndenza umzekelo bakhona bapha ukhona omnye isenta xa ngilibele igama lakhe
isigama Ross Broder
ya naye ikhona manje lesenta ibike yachisa gqibile
Apollos Diego
Apollos yabo uphayana ne but what competition does he give understand ufuneka nonantsika no
Jorenzo.
you understand if usaya kwezinye position
kusekhona no Fenta
uFrancois Fenta but it's a 12
usekhona Francois Fenta so ndizama ukuthi mina xana ubona iSharks is
Lily Best
umzekelo yabo xana ujonge
Lily Best I feel like I drown nakodwa
yeah slowly but surely xana ujonga iplayers
ifana kunene is not
why do you mention him the hleli apha yachise
let's not look at the numbers. I understand the numbers game. But look at the Stormers without the Springboks. Look at the Bulls without the Springboks. Look at the Lions without the Springboks. But look at the Sharks. And look at the Sharks without the Springboks. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is it doesn't help having so many Springboks and they hardly ever get game time. You understand? Because those champs are buya, ne? But by the time
they injured zonke
sizawudlala babuya zabe zidiniwe ufuna kumanage ixesha lazo
zabuya
za champ then next year sine series esifuna siyijongile All Blacks i-alignment camps ke sizawulandela ngoku nendoni zizaba ngamandla i-pressure izaba kula ngoba wonke umuntu ufuna udlala la series you understand because la way yaqhubela dala kwenziwa I think it was in the 80s if I'm not mistaken la way the series nendoni it could be late 90s I'm not sure yabo but zama ukuthi as champs awufika sidlale icrip yabo sizawudlala ngoku December January Feb by the time ngoMarch sibali wonke umuntu ngosejongela lani ba lisondele ixesha loba
Ndifuna uba libhokobhoko.
yeah lisondele ixesha and you think about it plus minus 12 months out to World Cup, you understand? So wonke umuntu bali uzabe efuna kumanage ixesha lakhe kahle injury zakhe kahle akho mntu ufuna uba injured because wafumana injury efana nalena yalomjita jonga lomjita unto uhanekom nonantsika nonto Araclo la machita siyazi ba 2027 ayahamba sibale ngenxa ba akhange siwabone ngoku kukho amadoda amatsha ngoku ochithuka umzekelo, you understand? So kukho nezinye intwana esazawuvela sibale.
But back to my question, ipingxaki ikwi-player okanye ikwi-coach?
I think it boils down to the coaching.
I think the game plan man
Because I can't see what.
But now, granted it was raining cats and dogs in this last fixture. Last week I was a bit happy against the Glasgow, obviously CBT, but la try Lucanio better cross Edwin wathi friend kuba ibuyisela Lucanio even naleka Edwin
around there.
But now you couldn't really run those plays in this last fixture. But guess what we did? We were like, we're gonna go back to that thing that was not serving us last year. Just pick up and go until you knock it on. Literally, that's all we're doing. Go pick and go until the ball in nowhere, and then
don't play that type of
like Gweneta, but Ofuru Jula back a line out.
Yet look at the opposition. Look at the opposition. Surely, with a substantial amount of ball skills, you are able to catch a ball to some degree, especially coming from a place of proper humid. Oh, Durban is a humid space. The ball is always slippery.
Yeah.
Clearly, well, is this not something you are used to? So for me, it's like I feel like
he do get a lot of rainfall as well.
When he's conservative, he gets too conservative. He gets like test rugby. He gets to test rugby. We're playing Wales in the quarterfinal, or playing Ireland in the quarterfinal. We're gonna beat them. We just need to pick up and go, type of thing. What? Look at your Amos play. How many times did he get the ball? Uchurenzo was there. We had who were on the wings. You mentioned Hakim Kunene. I think at some point we're also still paying.
That's like Ibn Usbach and what's the other wing?
Yeah, wings. Lenoni is about
solid.
I enjoyed him with Karaka pause. I enjoyed his performance with Karaka. I enjoyed him with Karaka, but I'm guessing it was his first game now. Let's see how he rises up.
I think he's trying so hard to be Esbunkos.
No, Nina Bafuna Benzo because of how he looks.
I've watched the guy, man. He started the Sharks, Curry Cup. He was at the Pumas for a long time. No. He started the Sharks because he played club rugby at and Durban.
Okay.
He started the Sharks. Then why Pumas, and then Sharks.
Yes.
You understand? So I think for him it was always an end goal. No Sharks. But I think as a player, he's a good player. He's a good finisher. Yeah,
he's a Yao Peng.
But yeah.
Una contact njani Yao Peng? Adlalo 15 upha Yao Peng.
Can tell you don't know Yao wrong way inside.
I think I saw it to Adlalo 15.
Yeah, no, but also you don't know wrong way. I can't expect you level. I can't expect you as well.
Benge kaqhibi. No, Yao guys, let me put it like this. Let's talk about Yao because obviously it's a topic now. Yao has worked hard.
Yeah,
I can see the improvements that Yao has put in with high ball. Hence, we even put him at fullback now. Yao has identified a way of playing that he wants to dedicate his career to. Let me put it like that. Hard chase, high ball. Yao is strong. Yao can, boom boom. But Yao is not anything more than that.
Yao
is not.
Akazuzenza zokuyifethi uyawo uzakwenza i-basics akho kahle ubufuna kuyokora try ufuna finish uzayifinish le ball ubukhabe high ball uzayiganga. If he has to make a tackle uzakwenza tackle. If you need someone who's going to carry it up front angenza into zokuxwesa aphume ngayo
if akayinokanga
makes contact secure ibhola yakho.
I invite you, Yao. No, I invite you, Yao.
There's a lot of players who play in Cape Town, who play in Johannesburg, who play in Pretoria. About caliber A1, but no one hardly ever says anything bad.
Kabiza one because financial perspective.
Zawuthi umzekelo naliwele apha kuthiwa lekhifu gqithi lelana ibulls ukhri uzakufinishela bro solid like Akondo indore wow.
Yeah. But when
Indore wow fact in umaxane fonini wow fact is ukori try. Ukori try is expecting
Max Wane.
I think when Lions we need to change the coaching system. Ikondo wrong ngala coaching system enza kaphana.
It's good to coaching system abafuna abamnyama beke njalo.
Asinokuchitha ku-Sharks elo hlobo.
Okay, must be Sharks.
Sharks also need to fix something. I'm sure ikhona abasazilungisayo from the previous sort of director, head coach. Having players like Hakim Kunene, kunino Hakim Majida Waipa. Akayo junior player Hakim at this point, right? Hakim, we would even play Ebenezer at fullback before Lanwani started.
Hakim Braz and Diaz figures. Never in under 20 campaign. Why so?
Yeah, in below campaign lay. And Diaz, usuka kwe campaign kunene.
Why kawadlala man? Under 20.
Why good window?
I thought you couldn't. I thought you were
potential, but I think now PJ end.
I thought Bana he's gonna like some challenge of fasting for that chase. I thought but the money man is out of his depth.
And to be honest with you, Kandim Jongilu Kunene, looking at where he is, because he is a Sharks player in a URC flipping squad. Maybe lab, right? Maybe lab. Hakim, it was a Curry Cup game or URC. I think it was URC. Wabambi polo wakamba enye so hard. Washleka no plum tripang ba. Hey, hangi pinde la nane yenze nix. And as a result, he spent a lot of time trying to run over people. And it didn't work. He literally had this thing of wanting to run over players. And it's like that, you know, look, look, I've had my fair jabs at Yao Peng when I was still doing this thing with Instagram. But I mean, Umjita is a good player. I think he's a value asset to the Sharks. For whatever reasons they may be. There's two ways you can do this. You can be a Yao Peng, and now Siabelo Senatla loved the podcast Siabelo Senatla and talking about how from his injury and how he's decided to have a different approach into what type of player he is, knowing that I've had this injury, my speed will probably not come back. Let me try to be a holistic sort of player. Let me be hard on my tackles. Let me be a guy who can rack over or maybe even have some steals, which is something I would hope. I tell you
it's a good comeback.
But now the thing is, what I'm saying is there's two ways. You can be a Yao Peng, a Siabelo Senatla type of wing, hard worker, or you can be a Goshunwe. You can be here and be dazzling. But you can be dazzling. That type of it's what I'm trying to highlight in that there's gives and takes. Meaning all I know about the city. Back to Siabelo Senatla, I love that he realized very quickly, but okay, maybe I will not be the blitz box Siabelo, but I need to rebrand myself. What Siabelo am I going to be going forward? I'm going to be a hard tackling Siabelo. I'm going to be contesting in the high balls. But it's that thing of he switched his approach and he's serving that role now. But now, what I'm trying to highlight, when you're a blitz person, Habana. Maybe we can let go of how whack your defense is because we know how much you can give us with your speed. But now when you lose a bit of this one, but nothing is developing this side, then you are stalemate.
No, but I watched
it's the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I was trying to go back to the old Apiwe, and the things are not sticking. The passes, the steps, the grabbers, everything. It's not sticking, bro. Not that I was, but the ball is just not bouncing the same way.
But I think he has it within him. Not to the same level, but for us to see a glimpse of what he used to do. I think Sharks, Tuba, we didn't see much of that. Keep balls every 2 weeks. But now at least Ikari Kale under. Nancy Rackerman phela wambheka na ngokumfakela URC squad so makasibona but kukosa percent clear but
uzodlala oChezulu baba used
yabo kuyanyiwa
no Sergio Peterson abakadlali
no Sergio yabo
angisho ngokukhona pathway ne-week ezikhabayo nansi le UCT bikhe ku alignment camp so sometimes ungavese ukwazi ukhaba
umakhaza
so there's different ways of doing
cheaters who's injured what's going on there.
I have no clue. And cheaters, they are literally just hunting there. And yes, I try to keep up with the cheaters to see what's going on.
It was not I wouldn't have signed for the cheaters if I was him. But maybe also no one else.
Well, now when Zinga TV choice, I was sitting saying, if uMakaza doesn't get an offer, did uMakaza bakafumana offer ngoku? Then it will be kuphelile. I don't think there were a lot, in my opinion. I don't think there were a lot of.
Also, I think it's good for him, but okay. Not to tweeters, but not tweeters as no competition they call, but Magadala because if a as gone, but if a baby Sharks or I good Bulls, it doesn't matter pack. I got one game time.
Lions at least, but Lions can you
okay, Limpeg for by should be so Lions. You should not live with you and rather if a team will rather.
The players I'm 16 people and
attachment. Attachment.
No, you be honest with your buyers and guys in sport.
I am being honest. He's not up to scratch, but we know what he can do. But we
know what he did.
Okay, we know what he did.
You need to be specific with you know what he did.
You know what he used to do. I don't say that my player there. As you said, Uzbonili improvement.
I know, solid man. Solid
players,
took me a while.
He's there for a reason.
I pick Payne over Hakim any day.
Hakim man's Hakim.
Our man's like him, Luan.
Any day.
Gentlemen,
are you happy with the signings of the Sharks so far?
No, I'm happy.
I'm happy with Mzantsi.
No, I'm happy because at the end of the day we're closing a gap, bro. Whatever we can do.
Yeah, we're bridging that gap. We're maintaining that gap between Karika player, URC player.
Include that difference.
So now we do that gap.
Tell him Google issue Ross Brody.
And
I think he's an international, that kid.
I'll check him out.
I think he plays for Portugal or something, but he's one of these guys that are check Ross Brody, and he's a conditioned, he's a strong, like watch the Pumas. Like I back Ross. I was happy to see Ucebo Dlamini benching. As a front rower. There's also Lomjita and Mazi, and we prop night, but not he propping and nobody sent and by little Dawson. Dawson and
Kofa.
LB. I was it junior poker clearly that 12 year tablished.
Be solid. Nankondo to New City, hooker end.
Because I'm tapped in, man. The reason I even do my videos because I back my algorithm. So then when they were on World Cup, they were doing these TikToks. So I picked up in just what they were talking about how he can do anything. Not seemingly he can play hooker and he can play center. But I don't think that's something you'll explore internationally.
How big of a loss is Sekani for the Sharks?
Look, man.
I'm happy for him.
No, happy for you.
It about washed up under Upland.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It can't be a loss. A 19-year-old that's still signing within South Africa is not a loss.
Okay. How big of a loss for the Sharks?
No, it is. No, it is a loss for the Sharks. I mean, there's a kid, Romao, who usually is on the bench for Ushlegani. They are both at the Sharks. I think that was the thing.
Also, out of position. Udlala lock. I think number 7.
Lee Marvin Masbuko. You think it's a good sign?
And the other can put on Lee Marvin why power lifter. Lee Marvin Majita.
And
the land and because
for the longest time, but I think it was a French player of some sort.
Yeah, no, look, I'm not really well
versed. But like he's actually but as his signings just don't make sense. And the husband is I'm not saying.
I think he let panic of five boxes in there because
I haven't seen much of the guy. Yeah, but no problem. Now, Kwalendwana lock. You call a little bit lock man and listen. Forgot his name.
Ooh, Lebeki is Colin Rowe.
I'll call it Rose.
Lady a country and call a country on land.
But problem.
We could be problem.
As a signing is usually a problem. Like. It's going to signings and understand the Sharks.
But also understand that Kaluga's signings need to be done strategically. They don't want to find themselves, for example, the signing of Siamasuku, it caught them by surprise. They did not expect to see Siamasuku to do what he did for the Sharks. As a result, it got really awkward traffic with Jordan Hendricks. It got really awkward traffic with Jordan because it's like, because you see, then and Jordan would have probably been in competition considering they were both called up. And then although Uras was very open, but hey, the competition level as fine. But we see what he's done. We're gonna acknowledge it. We're gonna bring him in. Let's see what he's about. I honestly felt Masuku needed to go do a few high roxes. I feel like he was a bit too thick. He does look like he's slimmed down quite a bit. He moves a bit freely. But Lanba, now they are really. But okay, we are bringing a Tebo Dlamini. But hey, Kukolosim Patala and Vincent Koch. more than what we're gonna pay him. If he then comes in and does better than him, now we're paying him so much for doing nothing.
Is he a tight head or loose?
Number 1 or 3.
He's a tight head.
Number
Tight.
3 ne. U3 angolose antsho 1 2 3 when bet head out and yazi mina sayifunda lana.
Loose head 1. So
U3 ngulo unenhloko
inhloko ka1 izaba lapha ku3.
Sure, okay.
And the oxide is like both like a ball fridge.
Yabona bethatha uye kuphefumula.
Betha kule ndawo bakhala unyoko pope apha.
Yeah.
Othi yakuva bana awuphefumuli leyo ngoba
adikixelwe izezi u2 wazo plus nalo 1. Utixa ke inhloko yakhe itixele pha. That's why ke ngoku need a lot of strength
From la 5 wako 4
from you understand?
Yeah.
And then because lamshita yena akana support like utixelekile inhloko yakhe between lamashita, so ngizama ukuthi u3 wako kufuneka ibe nguye lo solid. Then uThomas la transition yakhe yayi seamless because uyakhumbula uThomas kaloku mobile fana no Trevor, you need players like that. That's why Thomas I still think on the edge namanye mashita because he can slot in he can slot in at 3 yabo. So yeah, but Utsebo is good. You understand?
Yeah. So now the signings, phela londo ye signings. So but if we need to be strategic with these signings, because what do they mean? What am I signing you for? Because there's money here. There's nitty gritty things. There's 30 days now. 30 games that you have a year. So you need to. For example, another thing that we don't talk about enough. It needs a bright talent that's coming up from the bottom. That's why Josh Neal are being bought from high school, because the Stormers came out. Telling them when they released a new logo, but they also spoke. They're very open to say, "But no, Tina, we are gonna put more time in getting from the bottom, buying finished products all the time." Yes, bad.
That's why we carried up campaign. Yeah, but they took club players from Western Cape.
What's going to happen? What we'll start seeing is that,
and there's a lot of rugby being played, guys.
No,
so
it's not.
It needs a rugby player.
No, there's not. There's a lot of rugby for a small group of people.
Yes, there could be more.
It's not a lot of rugby for everyone.
They can accommodate everyone. But now, issue means that it boils down to the money.
Perfect segue. Mzantsi Rugby League. Do you remember? Do you know about it? Do you know about it? Oh, so you guys haven't seen anything about it?
Nope.
If I'm R360, you haven't really been following there, but what's going on? All right. No, continue. It's fine.
But
no, Mzantsi, it's the gap. Guys, if you are a Pumas fan, I'm sure you've heard Stonehouse Jimmy.
Yes.
Every opportunity he gets, he's gonna talk about that. There's unions, there's clubs that can't even afford to have an under 21. Because for these kids to play, they need to just be pushed in there, and they're playing for 3 months, 4 months in a year. They're off for 8.
Yeah. And they are in a professional setup,
or even semi-professional, right?
But also now you're
but like how are high school players playing more rugby than the Griquas?
It does not make sense.
Like how does that happen?
How are they having more spectators at their games than Currie Cup games?
So Mzantsi Rugby League is coming in and he's saying, I'm not really sure who the guy is. What I do remember is that he's a Namibian international. He played in South Africa. I think he played for the Bulls. He's a popular. I'm sure you would know who he is. But he's proposing and he's saying, listen, we're gonna pay these players between 15 to 30,000 a month. All right, we wanna we wanna get these guys, and they're not looking to take from anyone. They're not saying Sifunuta, unlike R360 where they're like Sifunuta the best. No, they just wanna be backed to say we are gonna have this league that we're gonna push here to have more rugby playing.
Yeah, but where are they getting the money for salaries? Understand that
they don't have an issue with that, my brother. But the is to be recognized by rugby.
It boils down to the money.
If Feinberg is actually SA Rugby who's saying, but whoever participates there, you will not be eligible to. Essentially, also participate in
but
anything.
Why are they gatekeeping the game?
Because they have control of it.
Yeah, they have control of it, but in order to grow it and to keep players in South Africa, people need to make money.
You see this conversation, my brother, it goes higher now. It goes world rugby level. There's a reason R360 is also an issue. There's a reason we have to stick it out and continue to learn how to interpret different referees, because they hold the power.
Yes,
you must take what you are given.
I understand, but why is it that Japan can do it? No one regulates La Liga as a Japan in terms of salary caps.
Money.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's money. Money needs to be involved. More money needs to be pumped in.
But there's a lot of money, Klando Jenna, in 360. These guys want to do a live of rugby. We want to live or Hamilton, or Lewis Hamilton. Like they want to create. These guys are getting millions. They just want 300 women and men. Kudlalwa game Cape Town, go New York, go
So why is SA Rugby blocking this thing?
Qatar Airways Cup. No cup. Like cup 10. It's literally an injection. It's when they want to give money, so they put that cup there. That's how they just. But anyway, I don't know why USA Rugby is against the MZR. And the thing is, Lamajita were heading Mzantsi Rugby League are also a little bit hostile. They are very open to the media to say, but we don't care. Since our ends are without them. So.
Oh, you didn't have contractors players big that
is R360. Mzantsi Rugby League has just an Instagram page with about 100 followers so far. Yeah, and there's rumors, after the Pumika, 4 Springboks have agreed. As long as Springboks, me, I'm a true Stormers player. When I got I'm a true Stormers player. I'm like, oh. Yeah. When that thing popped up, I was like, "Uli pokuyaya." Kafi Quade Cooper no will ginya, but is up on as a coach is up with liners.
Yeah, but Kinetsu liners, second division in Japan.
X-Men. Let's move on. Now this segment, see, these are the peer share conversations. So yeah, Sereti players based on their performances. They choose URC games from this past weekend. Lions and Faganga because as first player, when you see the Milan, how many players for the performance on Friday night?
I know 4 players.
EPR ziphela kuba
go 5 man. Okay. Go 5.
Sure.
4 players.
By his special awareness logging into yakhe le. You understand? So he uses space to give someone else more space.
Sure.
So it's space, I guess, to give you more space. I like that about his play. I also like the fact that Kana a ball watcher. He's gonna follow you.
Do you know what?
He's gonna follow you. And make sure by exception he couldn't raise the guy about the try. You understand? He was relatively solid under the high ball. Can't test what I means. He only won it twice from leg game because leg game and he won Oksasa. Can't go as well. And then also man, similar we are as Moses and Wisak. Something exciting. So no, I'd say
4 players.
Emmanuel, he had a solid game.
X-Men.
I know you have money for and for me, the guy for taking the opportunity. Like I said earlier, I saw Stulo Sakes here.
I saw Stulo Sakes. 15.
Damien Willems, Uzobuya, and
But here's the thing. This is what I saw.
Sacha.
I think, Usimelani Lions, why we propose? White one 15, but the role he was playing at 15 was like a second fly half. And the line of him now what Udobo is doing with him is
the third center.
Yeah, what Udobo is doing with him is umnika allowance by third center yam. Outside of Urwanel and do whatever you want to do, spacing.
Yeah.
And if freedom, if men join the line, back, but I full back through, so he was exposed at times because defensively he was out of place like Kaiju. But I think over time Udobo and ayenzayo izomushisemela to la similar sasimono with Lions.
Yes.
And Urwanel is always injured. Man, those have money 4 months outside.
A lot of guys.
Bone marrow. Good.
A lot of guys actually said when he signed for the Bulls that why not go to the Stormers?
Because there were rumors about that, wasn't there?
Yeah, there were rumors. Rumors basically means even Sunday at some point was rumored to go to the Stormers. I think Zangaba from Milan What does that mean? Because if I'm not going to be a Springbok, then
I might as well.
Yeah. I was about to say that when I talk about players, my assumption is that you want to be a Springbok. So when you ask me about Usimelani, I'm happy he took the opportunity. He's playing well, but the role that you spoke of just now, is that a role that can take him closer to being a Springbok, being
can-
an extra center.
It can take him. Number one, Usman, he needs his confidence back. And Lendo is of confidence.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%.
he pays yakhe became
To be honest with you, play packing what you call your name. I don't see him.
On a space
I
like-
don't see him becoming a Springbok. But
But there's life.
Possibly
There's life after the World Cup.
yeah. But uzabe ngaphi?
Also, every peak age,
iPhone to you.
Xa-
98 or similar.
he could be 98, 99.
Umuntu 98 umdala after 20. Umntwana ezingenayo systemini. So ngizama ukuthi uSimelane solid player but and Moses Springbok but I'm okay anything is possible. Possible is endless in fact. But I'm
Okay,
just saying
sharp.
currently I don't see him there.
You guys mentioned him earlier on the show. Jamreta Bagafly off for the Blue Bulls. Keegan Johannes. X.
Yeah, kicks. That game here, Bulls, I didn't get a chance to watch it properly, but the thing is with the Bulls, ne? Bebedlala no man weekend. Bebedlala neLeinster. Bebedlala neLeinster. And the Leinster phansi yabalenga.
Ulerupa zo City.
Leinster phansi yabalenga. Look for me, Zamniki 3 years, ne? Also saying that like for me it kind of looked like it was an interim and probably still an interim thing in Doka Johannes.
At fly half.
Yet fly half.
But it's been months now.
Because Khosi naye favorite position go injury list. Ulinde ke ngoku 100 Pollard ngubana enye option pa for u10.
Are you quite?
Smith ngilomkile
Umkile
Lions.
Injured.
Dobela uzawudlala.
Now
Time to best.
sibonile man lento ne. Sacin for mhlawumbe into elula. Unfortunately belibalekile ke ligama ndathi hayi banzalibuyisa usanele nohamba. Siyibonile lento 9 esenza kakuhle kwa 10 ne. But ayizuba repeatable kaninzi. uJaden Hendricks abamhlabe 10 last week even if brother wakho bhuti udlala 10 when you don't have the instinctive.
I was about to say because ubumbone besekela azinqandi. Because usiscrum off by nature.
Yeah. So Keegan Johannes, I give him 3 beers.
X-Men, yo wena 3 none.
I don't know if it was-
Zawungcile players
I don't know if
I
it was
never
on the park ba ude kukhaba okrili umna sibali xa ungu10 ka ukhabe man nangathonga xa ukwa10 ukukhanyisa okrili.
I know your opinion about Maneli Bok. Continue.
But yeah, 3 beers monele man. Johannes is always good. He's
Sharp.
always good.
Ibhura ibuyile bekunetha but sifune simrayithile. Look at your arm on Friday. Qala bekuyo bhag.
3 beers.
No be shushu.
3 beers man. Jonga man, ulukhanyo ne. Ulukhanyo ufuna sim understand. Ulukhanyo
Basele ngale game ya Friday.
Yeah.
Not ulukhanyo losimazi.
Yeah.
Ngale game ya Friday.
Ulukhanyo ne xa kunika performance efinal ya Friday. Ngo 3 beers kuye. Kwenye player mhlambe ngangu2. Uyase but ufuna understand ulukhanyo zininzi izinto zakwenzela zona apha ebalini ongazuzibona ozibona wena. Akayiyo la player funeka idubule offload, ilahle pass ithini but just organization on defense. Bumjonga xa incola nabantu.
Bedlala 12.
Ebedlala 12 this weekend.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, organization yakhe on defense, his role in terms of being a leader in the team. Afunanga uzilalele ezazinto. Xa afuni usana ko retry ubona basiyaleqwa. Umuntu afuneka ajonga achazela abantu. That's part and parcel of the game. You understand? Asinothatha ibalondo. It's outside of the game. You understand? So ndizama ukuthi mina for his leadership and inansika and organized defense. Ndiyamnika u3 because important. iSharks ziyavuza sibali. And we amnida umuntu ozawukwazi ukwenza into efana lena ayenzayo lamjita fana.
X-Men,
2 beers.
2 beers.
I know 2 beers.
Explain why Mkaya 2 beers.
Naba kakhulu. Actually 1 beer yesibini kube ngulukhanye lesi Springbok ene World Cup.
Mkaya 1.5.
Yeah,
I think akadebezela ibhiki.
But
Ningayenzanga lento bungayicelanga ne because sijonge kule game.
Sharp.
But it's either he needs confidence on his knee because everything he does is sideways because he's trying to protect this knee. Now obviously now xa rugby guys ndijonge ngeliso umuntu wesport so I work with athletes into injury nendoni so I look at those nuances.
Le uyithethayo ne? Ndiyiqaphela.
Yeah, there's nuances even though just how he wants to go about the physicality, he needs to keep that leg straight at all times. And I think that's taking away from his game.
But we also saw that I think it was just after the World Cup
Yeah, no. Ever since
We
he got that
saw
injury, he was
that.
never ready.
Yeah.
Lukanyi. They tried to rush him
Okay.
because they saw the talent coming in.
Now you udlale same conditions as Lukanyo. Jaden Hendricks at 9. Qala kuwe X.
Jaden Hendricks, 2 beers or quack. Maybe 1 beer actually, Jaden. Jaden has got a demeanor that I don't like.
It's too relaxed.
He's got a demeanor I don't like.
Ingari yachala.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I get Scrum House and how they play and how they do their thing, but Jaden is just too Lexi Daisy. He's too Andiyaz braba indon.
So mkaya 2 beers.
1.
1.
Yeah.
Baka.
Nah, it took years, man. It's just never been the same after keep going to box from shit.
Yeah.
After Engasalbon box, I think after the injury he had actually, then Wanga Piwa box. I think it's just never been the same after that. But yeah, hopefully we'll see better performances from him, Bone. This season, but I was not impressed. 2 beers.
Okay, play yokugqibela kule segment Evan Ruth. Qala kuwe Baka.
Yeah, it was solid. Very solid. Like, nigga 4 beers.
4 beers. That's nice. X-Men.
For him to chase down
Like cross kick.
That bounce though.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
bounce though. Oh, that
lucky bounce.
though.
Yeah, lucky bounce.
That bounce. Be careful of awarding a Geland of the world. The Gelands in the world. Where it's that bounce. It's either it's gonna bounce in your hand or it's not.
Yeah,
and it's
no.
either it's gonna be the greatest moment of the game or it's gonna be like, what the hell was
But
I
also
thinking?
his ball carrying was solid.
Yeah, he was very solid.
Ivan Ross nika 3. Ngamnika through Ivan Ross ibeer.
Why umvimbele yoswa?
Because again I compare people to Lendosi to what you've shown us. Now although in fact koneni kulento ndenside because sithatha ngale game specifically but the ceiling you play amna I ceiling abe izobe ngokwakhe and also the ceilings ke ngoko subsequently xa unyukile ozawuzinikwa nang international coaches. But let's not be oblivious that Ivan Ross is one of the contenders on number 8 at Springboks, and there's things that he's been told to go work on. We may not know what they are, but I don't see a difference, is what I'm trying to say. He's still doing what he usually does. He's playing well. I mean, he scored 2 tries the previous weekend, scored another one this time. Maybe confidence is going to improve. Let's keep watching him. But Niki too.
I just think him now careless with the ball. Like if ball carrying, I understand you want to move forward, but you can't let go my elbow man. You went go. Place the ball as clean as Sacha.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sacha. Singavimi platform.
Feinberg, I'm following up. And I'm sort of happy the way it panned out. Because Sacha, if you guys remember, Stormers versus, I don't know who, it was a quarter or semi-final in the URC last year. Things were not going his way. Like things were just not clicking at all.
I actually even remember the comments you made on the group.
You remember? And the thing is now, it's part of development. One of my rap, the tiny rap, because there's poetry there. I'm not sure which song it is, but there's an L in every lesson. Not that you can't find lessons in wins. I mean, you get a bit of answers there, but in losses are lessons, bro. So watching how Sacha was playing yesterday, he rode the wave. I said we are creating a tsunami for Sacha, and I just hope he can find land and keep walking. He was kind of floating with the wave, getting into fights. Now, I'm sure when a player doesn't pass, but things happen.
Yeah.
That in step to score, that 360 dummy to score. If those things didn't happen, didn't result in tries. Although already, I'm sure guys, there was that undertone. People were talking about if Umani is starting, the wings are scoring. If Sacha is starting, Sacha is scoring. But as long as he's scoring, I think we are happy because it contributes to the result. But when it doesn't contribute to the result, you sit there and you're like, is he the complete? Is he the Dan Carter now? Are people still going to be comparing him to Dan Carter when things are not going his way? And how does he? Now, this is us for the fans, in a sense, but do we understand that performances are not going to be replicable? And how do we sit on podcasts and talk to Sacha? Because, I mean, with the digital age, as Bonamano Sacha's whether they like them or not, or they scroll. But at the end of the day, we are part of the ecosystem of the rugby space, and the things that we say, somehow we'll probably get to them, or even another player. But how is our tone? Do we bash now Sacha? Or do we understand that he's a youngster? He's a special talent. He's got a lot of things to develop.
I think it's his responsibility, first of all, to check himself. And then Tina, I think it's also our duty to understand you understand? Because if it was a Pollard, you understand, this is about different about what we have to say about him or the rugby community at large. I remember Pollard, after that game he played against the All Blacks, where he was outstanding. The following game he was not as outstanding.
Yes.
You understand? So now what I expected from him yesterday was, you know what, Goku? I've done the job last week. Now I just need to convert, keep the ball out, pass the ball, make sure abantu around me are playing right.
If it's open, then play it.
If it's open, I play. But I would have been very conservative.
Alright, so you believe because is one.
Yes.
People were crying. People were crying with Grouper City. How is it 70th minute Umanilipok is still on the bench? Umanilipok came 71st minute. Literally.
But also, I think it was also a matter of
development. Continue.
Then was the last thing I Sacha.
Experience. If I understand. But for me, I was happy with the performance, but I was not happy about stealing a performance. Getting into five that and
I think, and you know, because only half playing right now is time that he fights.
So no, for me it was that. It was that. But Sacha, I'm happy. Not that I'm happy. It never.
You're playing France. Game. You're playing France. You're playing Ireland.
Yes. Yes. No, look, Sacha for me.
That's my biggest problem with Sacha. Individualistic too much. Too much.
Yeah.
Now he's gonna grow into the game.
I feel like he took
9 months ago. When sitting test level, I was with Thomas. But Sacha, uzawufunda upasa naye. Sanongxama ngumnani uliphoka benimthelela nisithi hayi uliphoka ibanga lungisela le-kicking ulungisile ngoku. He's starting to see a bit more game time and unconywa ngabantu ba uliphoka siyamnida kwathini umntana umpeni chance uzawufika bakamameli ke that's up to him.
When I started Majita, I mentioned that I'm a student of RAS. So ngihleli lapha ndiyacinga bayazi yintoni there could be an element that we are not tapped in already. When I look at Sacha is like a Wilkolo of the back line. In a sense that, imagine, because at the end of the day, you first have to develop him. I think what's going on there, go to Sacha, play, but Bafuna Adlale so close to the line so that he can learn how to make these decisions quickly. When you blood a player fullback, they get too comfortable with having, because I think he's good at that already. I don't think he needs a lot of space to find space. But Ilanda, get good.
That's his natural.
Yeah, that's his natural. So get good at doing this thing here. But I think his ultimate for 2027, going to the question you're asking me about, do you start him? Maybe now you still start him because you're still developing him. But getting into the tour, All Black tour next year, because remember, there's the All Black tour, we still have an end of year tour next year with the whatever. Yeah. He's going to end up being, it's either he's going to be that option, because now much if you've caught on, we still have 5.5, 2.5 split. Under Easter is in 23.
You're going to go alone.
Yeah, it's half.
Yeah, but I'm flu cowl on it, but with the time. I think Sacha doesn't lack the ability to see space. It's about how he's going to use
it. Yes.
So, Sacha, advanced for the
they need to learn how to play with him.
Yes, because
he said the same thing now. Yeah. And that's exactly what he said.
But we don't want too much of that and less of what's been working for us.
Yeah.
So you need to into that role, step up into that role eventually or over a period of time. I see understand it has to be much tighter. And loose I expect him as Chile understand. It's go forward momentum. Grant Williams.
Yeah. So quickly, but to conclude, Sacha uzoba player that you can get in. He's gonna be not necessarily a bench player, but he's gonna be that cog from the bench, which we already have from certain players. Like Andre has been very different from the bench now with what he provides, whether he's at flank or center. But as Sacha now coming in, running against tired bodies. You understand? Learning with fresh bodies, because now he's learning with fresh bodies, he's starting the games. But now, to add a little bit of advantage, now he will be coming in, whether it's fullback or fly half. It's similar to the London City, he'll be the Wilco of the backline. Wilco is not a finisher for real. Wilco is the guy who's going to take the first scrum in the second half, regardless of where that first scrum is. Whether that first scrum is a minute into the second half, Wilco's job is to scrum immediately when he gets. So Wilco again.
Because they have to set momentum for the rest of the game.
Yeah. So second half, a game is tight. Second half, first penalty to the Poles. Sacha go. Gets that penalty.
But once I see error rate, that's when we'll start to see the value of that.
He's only 20 what, guys?
No, but I don't know, because Pollard error rate was not as high.
But what was he doing?
No, against the but he used to run the ball a lot. Let's also remember that. But Sacha is out and out umshita ongadlala in each and every position in the back line. He's athletic. He doesn't lack pace. Vision. He's got a strong boot.
Did you see that pass?
Like
he didn't have a good game, but you can still sit here and be like, jeez, but you see how he let that ball go?
Yeah, and Zambuti, so he plays special, and so as soon as Zambuti minimize the error rate,
and who's breaking lines? And you're not confident because I'm not killing.
No Collins.
Excellent. Let's move on to the conversation slicer. The edition, based on URC. Funegu Piggy team. Number 13 for the Thomas. You have Ronel Simelan. That's Saban. Yeah, but I'm your captain.
No.
Nel clean. Bach?
No clean.
Okay. I think defend Simelan too much, maybe him. Can't give fullback for the Thomas. No, Devon Williams.
Pools.
Yeah, Pools.
Devon Williams. Devon Williams or Villeleru?
X-Men.
And Kabus Bawai.
Hey, X.
Devon will give you, will run the ball for you. And which is what they needed.
I'm for the second half. Devon, Angene, cast the new players.
For how long? How old is he?
And he has age.
He's
He's probably past it. He's probably my age, I think. I think he's probably like 31, 32. I'm not going to say how old I am. Yeah, David Williams.
Nah, but I rate David Williams, but now obviously, me I give out a week beat, but
yes, but I like you make a pack with Bulls of him.
But I give you some.
But we don't want it. I saw the part of the team is a permanent ball. Can guy fly for Plumped, Onosia Masugu, Ono Hendricks.
Okay, John Smith.
Yeah,
okay, Umoy is also there. But yes,
Umoy, I thought that was the best last week because maybe enough.
He's also injured.
He's injured. But can't get between the as two players.
Siamasuku, Jordan Hendricks.
I'm about
X-Men.
Masuku.
Last year, the last try is to bring balls against you. Okay, this. Masuku. Can you scram up for the Lions? No more than the back, no Hashim Pete.
That is a good one.
Yeah, I'm not Hashim Pete. They understand more neighbor.
Lepogopo
solid, but Nandiatana Zumugala and Wanashi Rugby.
I'm not Fagumone.
Yeah.
Fagumone.
Makes sense why.
Do you know what I would do? I think if the not Tobela got 10, Konego Hashim go 9. If the no Smith got 10, Manego Mone from the back.
Yeah, that also makes sense.
Because
his style of plays I was all complimentary both as Mzantsi. But now Hashim, obviously, we'll see more of Feinberg-Mngomezulu. but Hashim Mngomezulu is the future.
So
ingase i-career yakhe ingabethwa ilanto bana but bekubani. Ingasayi ku-union yaziwayo bayabona shape i-option of startup. But South Africa ingabe a lot because there's too much talent.
X-Men, this is the conversation starter for episode number 8. Thanks for pulling through, my guy.
Guys, the phone is never off. Whenever. I even know where you guys are now. Sometimes when you Sunday on the volume young on the brother go school.
Otherwise, gents, until the next one.
I'm sure.
Ndibuyile kama vanipelele wote ya modi mimi.